Okay, had to switch to the Sony over the iPhone camera because I was just looking way too shredded, and honestly I felt like it was setting some unrealistic standards. This is more, I feel like this is closer to how I actually look. Of course it takes longer to upload to YouTube, but whatever, at least the audio is better. So consider this video something of an opportunity for me to take stock into what's currently going on so far as just planning. Again, a couple of videos ago I mentioned that I think what I'm going to do with this particular YouTube channel, Sean Fury, I'm just going to just provide updates as to where I am in the process, how I'm thinking, future plans, things of that nature. And if that's something that's interesting to you, then cool, keep watching. If not, then I am going to make another YouTube channel that's more specific towards natural bodybuilding and work on building that platform up as well. With that being said, if you can quit your day job, fucking quit your day job. This is the happiest I've been in at least a year, if not more. Probably more. I quit my day job in October. So quit it October 15th, and it's November 27th. So I've been without that day job for 5 or 6 weeks-ish. And it's amazing. Just the way that I'm able to think. My particular day job was quite demanding. It required a lot of problem solving and dealing with individuals that were always angry. And being able to get rid of that out of my life and just allowing myself to focus on my own personal pursuits, things that I'm passionate about. It's like, man, how can I keep this forever? Like this, I swear to God, is heaven. Being able to wake up every day and ask myself questions as to how can I get further towards my goal, as opposed to, oh man, today I have 2 board meetings and I have a call with this board president, and there's a leaking. It's just it's not stimulating. It weighs you down. It literally weighs you down. So that's a little side note on that. Now let's talk about some plotting. First thing I'm going to say is a little bit of a disclaimer. I'm going to be completely transparent with how my mind is working. And I don't think it will, but I guess this is just my disclaimer to state that as I continue to quote unquote plot out my future, I will reference people that I have a proximity to or have intentions of reaching out to. And I want to clarify that I have no intention of using these people who have bigger platforms than myself. Instead, my intention is to collaborate with these individuals who have, like I said, a bigger following, or they have a podcast set up, and I'd like to hop on their podcast for the opportunity to promote my content or promote the projects that I'm working on. So yes, I am speaking to the camera and speaking to whoever is listening as kind of like a conspiratorial kind of thing, where it's like, all right, this is how I want to achieve my level of success that I have in mind for myself. In my head, it's like, this is how I want to take over the world. But I'm coming at it from a very pure place, a place of good intentions with nothing but a desire to collaborate. And yeah, I do want to see myself successful, and linking yourself with people who are already successful is definitely a good strategy. So, and I'm saying all that just to say, yeah, if you can work with someone who's already where you want to be, then yeah, there's no shame in trying to make that happen. Have I done that yet? No, but that's where my intentions are, and I'm just being very transparent about it. On that note, yeah, the physique sticks out. Fantastic. Thank God. Thank God the physique sticks out. The gym that I joined 2 weeks ago, Zoo Culture, I can take my shirt off and eyes are drawn to what I have to present. Granted, my girlfriend's roommate today said that I'm shaped like a Y, and that sucks. It sucks that is the truth. I am shaped like a Y, and I will be shaped like a Y for at least another year. We'll see how effective this bulk is when it comes to actually making my legs proportional, but my anticipation is I'm going to be shaped like a Y for at least another year, which, tough pill to swallow. Still though, I am getting a lot of positive reaction from how my upper body looks, at least. And my intention is to use that as obviously a calling card. This is my resume. This physique is my resume. I am very serious about this. I am very serious about natural bodybuilding, and that's the thing that I want to talk about. That's the thing I want to promote, and that's where I want to ground my career in as a natural bodybuilder. So we have moving pieces that I have the hopes of working with. Today I met the individual Niall, who I had some understanding of, some awareness of. I'd seen him on social media a couple times talking to Bradley Martin and Larry Wheels, but I didn't know his name until today, and I was able to talk to him very briefly. He's got great calves, and I asked him, is it genetics or is he actually working on the calves? And he says it's a little bit of both, which makes complete sense. But anyway, checked him out on Instagram. He's got 1.2 million followers. He's got what looks to be at least 1 or 2 podcasts. One episode that I'm looking forward to watching is The Genius of Unnatural Bodybuilding. And he had this host on who, it was like a 2-hour podcast that I haven't watched yet. But basically they go into an in-depth analysis as to whatever it is that they talk about when it comes to unnatural bodybuilding. And it's perfect. It's perfect for me because I want to do natural bodybuilding. And I didn't see anything on his podcast talking about that specifically yet. Granted, I could do some deeper dives. However, I think it's like a ripe opportunity for me. And again, I'm just being completely transparent with you. This is what's happening in my head. It's like, all right, watch the podcast, Unnatural Bodybuilding, the genius of it. Come into the gym the next day, or I don't like to rush things. So if I meet an individual and I shake his hand and we chat it up for a couple of minutes and then I go on about my business, I don't really like to talk to that person for another couple of days because I don't want to come off very overbearing. Even though I am very excited to pitch my ideas and do my best to work with and collaborate with these individuals, I don't want to come down like, hey, listen, do my projects, work with me on my projects, please, please. So instead I like to do like, let shit breathe. So anyway, met him today. Watch the podcast on the genius of unnatural bodybuilding. A couple days later, maybe next week, approach him. Hey, listen, checked out your podcast, specifically the episode on the genius of unnatural bodybuilding. Thought it was very interesting. The guest that you had on really gave some cool insights. I actually have a desire to produce a documentary on the rise of natural bodybuilding and putting spotlights on people in that sport, in that passion or that pursuit where they have this desire to peak their physique in a natural way. And I would love the opportunity to talk with you on your podcast about this. At the same time, it would be a great opportunity for me to do a plug for a movie that's coming out in next year, early next year, that I helped to co-produce. So listen, if there's a financial type of thing where I can pay you for the opportunity to speak on your podcast about these different things, about these different topics, and that would be great. Or if you're just looking for additional content, I think that the conversation that we could have on natural bodybuilding and my intention to make it more popular and more elevated, comparable to unnatural bodybuilding, if that's something that you think would be cool for your channel, then let's schedule it. Let's make it happen. So that pitch, I'm pitching to Niall that I met today. I'm pitching to Bradley Martin, who I was able to approach yesterday and talk to him and thank him for the gym of zoo culture, which has allowed me to think so differently and so opportunistically when it comes to collaborating with individuals, not just Bradley Martin or Niall or whoever, but other individuals who are like, there are videographers there who are charging a monthly rate for, if you are looking for someone to shoot your videos on a month-to-month basis, then you can pay that guy, and that's what I'm going to end up doing because my editing sucks, as you can see. So yeah, there's just so much opportunity for collaboration, and on my end, I'm just really focusing on getting good at my pitch, being personable, and just being honest about like, hey, I understand that I don't have a platform. I have almost 2,000 followers on Instagram. I don't even know if they're all real people. I remember that I got a DM from this one person. They're like, hey, we can get you followers if you post on our thing. And I was like, okay. And then I posted on their thing, and then all of a sudden I got like 200 followers. And I was like, are these real people? I don't know. I haven't done it since because it just made me feel kind of weird. But yeah, anyway. So I don't have a big platform. It's a work in progress. I understand that my physique is worthy. I mean, if I just stuck with it and did all the things that everyone else who has a physique comparable to mine is doing, then I would probably get a bigger following. And if I can just be completely, and this whole thing is about being honest, if I can just jump the line, perhaps with this documentary that I want to produce, I'm going to be reaching out to 2 documentary film producers that I happen to be friends with, and basically pitch this idea as like, hey, pumping iron meets exit through the gift shop, which is kind of weird if you've seen both documentaries, but that's the idea. And we're telling the story of the rise of natural bodybuilding with Sean Fury aiming to compete as the most dominant force in that sport. So I'm going to be talking to some documentary film producers about that idea and seeing if they would want to hop on board, or if anything, they can just give me some perspective as to the type of things that I should be thinking about when it comes to preparing this documentary. Documentary is probably going to take priority over a feature-length film, as that will create the highest amount of interaction with other individuals. A feature film is scripted. You're working with like a select amount of characters, and yeah, my background is in movie making and features and screenplays and things of that nature, but I think a documentary would just be more collaborative. I'd be able to get more perspectives, and I'd still be able to tell a narrative in the documentary. It just wouldn't be scripted, so a lot more opportunity for spontaneity. Another person I want to reach out to is Greg Doucette. Greg Doucette, I'm coming for you, man. I'm coming for you. I want to meet you, and I want to talk about natty or not, and I want to talk about natural bodybuilding as a whole and why it is that it's not as popular as unnatural bodybuilding. So that's a conversation I'm looking to have with you in person. I want to talk about how, like, what's the point of being a fake natty? Obviously endorsements and sponsorships and shit like that, but is there a way that we can just put an emphasis on getting to your best version of yourself naturally without having to worry about putting things in your body that's not going to do anything extra, you know? So yeah, I want to talk to Greg in the future, and I want to feature him in my documentary, just because, you know, he did, I think he always says 45 natural bodybuilding competitions without any kind of performance enhancing drugs. And then he did an additional like 15 bodybuilding competitions while he was enhanced. So he is a wealth of knowledge. I've been watching him for at least a year, if not more now. And he's great. He's great. Makes a lot of content. And I really, really want to get him involved in my projects. And, you know, there is another individual who works out at the gym, Eric Janicki, who is friends with Greg. So in my head, I'm thinking I could approach this one of 2 ways. And I'm going to take some more time to flesh out the documentary because I want to be able to talk about it in an articulate way. and make sure that all of my thoughts are fully formed. So if someone asks me a question about it, then I'm able to answer them and have a very firm understanding as to what the vision is. But once that's done and I feel confident about what it is that I'm talking about, I could either approach Eric and say, hey Eric, I actually have a documentary project that I think Greg would be really great for, and I know that you're friends with him. Would it be appropriate for you to reach out to him and ask if he'd be interested, or would you rather I just reach out to him separately and leave you out of it? That's one idea. The other idea is to just reach out to him separately, and if Greg gets back to me, great, and if he doesn't, maybe reaching out to Eric first is a backup plan. But Eric seems like a really nice guy, very approachable. Most of the people there are approachable, so we will see. In the meantime, I'm just going to continue developing these projects, taking time to brainstorm and actually have it as fleshed out as possible. If I'm aiming to do a pumping iron meets exit through the gift shop, then the pumping iron aspect of it is we need characters, we need players actually featured in this documentary. I have myself in mind, I have another natural bodybuilder in mind, and I would love to pepper in a couple more just to get some additional perspective. But I want to make it like a competition, like we're gearing up to see these people go head to head. Granted, the natural bodybuilders that I have in mind are already pro natural bodybuilders, so in order for me to compete against them, I actually have to become a pro too. So I do need to look into amateur bodybuilding and getting on stage as soon as possible in order to tell this narrative in the way that I would like it to. So yeah, there's a lot of things that need to be done. And then even as I say it out loud, it dawns on me that all of this is on me. I have to do all of this. And one thing that I have never really been good at is the execution of my ideas. But just because I haven't been good at that up until this point doesn't mean that I can't improve on that skill. So that's what we're doing now. This is not the execution. This is still the thing that I'm good at, which is coming up with ideas that I'm excited about. It's always easy for me to come up with an idea that I can get excited about, but the follow through, the execution of that idea, that's where I need to spend the next several years getting really, really great at. So yeah, Sean Fury, the natural bodybuilder, that's going to be the brand for the next 3 to 6 years. 6 years, so. Great talking to you, great chat. I gotta get more people involved.